after talking to a lot of educators, a lot of parents, a lot of students, we found out that students are getting less and less motivated because whatever they're doing in school just feels irrelevant. And the narrative that schools is not going to help you.
Here's what's going to happen today that's super different. First, you're going to share. You're going to tell people about Utah small businesses and Utah businesses that are looking to get spotlit. Today, I am with a friend. His name is Golden, and he is a young entrepreneur. He's just putting together his first business out of BYU. You know I'm a big BYU fan. You know I love their marketing department. I'm here with Golden, and he's going to walk us through what it's like to be a young entrepreneur, and he's going to share with you some of the most exciting ideas in education that I've heard yet as it applies to AI. Golden, welcome to the show, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Man, we're excited to talk to you. So you're working on a project right now that you've designed in the BYU ecosystem, which I love. What's the website? You had shared it with me before.
Yeah, the website is called eduquestai.org.
eduquestai.org. Mm-hmm. And it does something like when you were breaking it down with me, Golden, I was like, wow, that's really cool. In 30 seconds, tell us, what does EduQuest AI do?
Yeah, so it completely changes how education is done. So a student would no longer do the traditional worksheet type of homework. Mm-hmm. Instead, what they'll do is for each class that they take, they'll choose a long-term goal, a semester-long project that's related to both their personality, their interest, and the class itself.
Hold on a second. I just got to really digest this because it's super cool. You've taken AI, integrated it with the student educational experience, so that educational experience becomes bespoke to the student, so that within that young student, or it could be an old student like me, but it could, in most cases, probably young, beautiful people like yourself, but I can share with the agent who I am, what my interests are, what my desires are, and that gets paired to the class that I'm taking, and I share with the agent the outcome that I'm looking for that class, and it sets up a journey for me?
Yeah, so it's aimed for high schools and some homeschool families. So the idea is when the teacher sets up the class, we'll extract the content from their Canvas course and whatever material they would like to upload. And our agent will recognize, okay, in this class for each week, what is the teacher trying to teach, right? What skills does the student have to...
So the outcome of the student is paired with the outcome of the teacher,
right?
And then your agent aligns them,
right? Yeah.
I like this. So if I happen to be more of a visual, it will redesign the class to be more visual focused, but I'll get the same outcome, that the teacher's desired outcome, for me to extrapolate the information necessary for me to pass the class. Is that accurate?
Right.
But if I'm auditory, it's going to show me more writing skill sets, and it'll utilize my imagination when it comes to writing.
Yeah. So what we really focus on is not just like how the student learned, but also what is the student really interested in? Because like there are classes that the student has to take to graduate, but they might not be interested in it, right? Mm-hmm. So we somehow tie that class into something they're interested in.
So you then changed the tone and the theme of the class. So the outcome is reached. I'm going to say physics. I'm interested in cars, but I have to take a physics class. you will associate my journey through that physics class with something I'm interested in, which might be cars. Would that be closer?
Yeah, yeah,
So then I'm always interested in the class.
right,
And every student builds a journey based on their own individual interests within the class.
right.
Golden, this is huge. For anybody listening, you got to call up Golden and figure out more about what's going on here. This is an incredible breakthrough in learning. What brought this idea to the table for you?
Um, so after talking to a lot of educators, a lot of parents, a lot of students, we found out that students are getting less and less motivated because whatever they're doing in school just feels irrelevant. And the narrative that schools it's not going to help you
Yeah,
reach your
that
goals.
narrative is a terrible narrative, by the way.
Right, right. Is it's growing very rapidly, and for wealthier families, what happens is that they start sending their kids into schools that does project-based learning.
Yeah.
However, for the average kid or kids from lower income families,
They don't
What-
have access to
right.
project-based learning.
yeah, and what happens is that they just sort of give up or
Well, they're
No.
just not interested. It just so it seems to me, if I were to articulate it for you, so because I'm not as smart as you, so let me try to chunk it down for myself. You understood that the project-based learning, which was available in the high-end colleges and high schools in the United States, was one of the stronger ways to integrate minds into learning and keep them active and curious and moving forward.
right,
But you also simultaneously noticed that the people who were dropping out in the mid levels and the lower levels were going to what I'm going to call a standardized type of class, where it was soup cans, right? Like, here's your chicken soup, and it's the same chicken soup for every single person. And if you don't like chicken soup, you're SOL. It's just it's a drink the soup, right? Because that's all you're going to get, right? But you said, well, it doesn't have to be that way. What if we could take the outcome of a class and join it to project-based learning that's individualized, and then you built an entire ecosystem around that, powered by AI.
right.
Is that accurate?
Yeah, so we're trying to build the infrastructure for the future of education, which we believe is going to be individualized project.
Man, if you guys are listening to this, you have to find Golden. You are killing it. This is so, it's so inspirational and innovative, and I'm really grateful that you took the time to come on the Utah Business Spotlight, because what you're doing is the future. Having been an educator since my whole life, that was my first job, was an educational director, of being an educational director, and trying to pass down interesting ways to educate, and studying NLP, which is neuro-linguistic programming, or different ways to interact, or I'm a very sensory-oriented educator, visually oriented, auditory-oriented educator. I really like integrative things, because I just find that people really dig experiences and they remember them and then they apply them.
Right.
You took AI. Dude, you trumped me. Like, you took AI to the next level to create these bespoke experiences for every student. Gets the best of the best now.
Right.
Incredible. And it's all tracked. So as I understand it, that the instructor can see each student's journey and make recommendations based on where they are in their journey.
Yeah. So first of all, our grading agent, it'll grade any submissions to our platform and recommend identify any weakness in skill and update their future homework so they can address these weaknesses. In the meantime,
So it's in real time adjusting your learning progression Wow, that's super cool. So it sees what your strengths are and it says, okay, cool. You got your fractions down, but what you don't have is division. For whatever reason, we're going to give you a couple, we're going to keep you in the division, but we're going to give it to you this way. And, multiplication, you don't need that right now because you're killing it. Is that sort of what you're saying?
Yeah, yeah. And on top of that automated update, a lot of times teachers can see a lot more insights when they're talking to students in person, right? So we also have a feature for teachers to talk to our agents to suggest edits to the students' future homework.
Oh my goodness. If you did not catch this episode, please, if you did catch it, share it because everybody needs to know this is the future of education. Young men like Golden and young women who have not yet appeared on the show, but it's not a gender thing, but young people who are out there being innovative, they're seeing something based on its possibility, not based on their experience. So they're taking a short level of experience and addressing the future in a new and innovative way. I love what you're doing, brother. It's so cool. You must be excited.
Yeah, so excited for
What
this.
does the future, what does 2 years from now, where do you see yourself in relationship to EduQuest?
In 2 years, I hope that the first phase of EduQuest, which is like personalization based on individual class, will be adopted in at least Utah and hopefully also California. And hopefully we'll also start to have schools adopt phase 2 of EduQuest, which combines every single class that the student is taking instead of just personalizing based on single classes.
I love it. So you're personalizing the whole educational experience.
Right.
Brutal. It's brutal to all you mediocre teachers out there, right? I'm only teasing. I don't think I think teaching is it's the most noble cause. But it is very cool, the innovation that you're introducing to the educational marketplace. It's like no other. Thank you for taking the time. I appreciate you. What's the one piece of advice that you give to somebody who's not quite at your level, that's trying to get their startup off the ground? What would you say to them?
Just take every opportunity. A year ago, I was still fully convinced that I was going to be a quant instead of an entrepreneur in the edtech market. However, I took the opportunity of joining a research lab that developed this technology, and now I'm taking it to the public.
I love it. Well, go out there, live your dreams, participate. Never allow others to dictate your destiny. I'm Peter Anthony. This is the Utah Business Spotlight. I'm with my friend Golden. And it's EduQuest.
Yeah, eduquestai.org.
EduQuest, it's eduquestai.org. Find it. It's the future.